Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So, today we are reading the global lab patch notes for December 19th. If you guys don't know, it's been a while since I've done a patch notes reading, but usually when global lab notes are announced on Friday, they come to the live servers the following week on Thursday. So, it's always a good idea to catch up, and these are translated from Korean to English, so if you want to read it yourself, I'll leave a link in the description to the official notes, and you guys can check that out. But I'll try to make it make sense, and yeah, let's see what's happening for the upcoming week. It's always a good idea to keep up with events and everything. All right, so first off, we have character changes. Seraph is out, and I think they're going to be doing a lot of balances every week for probably the next couple of months, and so the 31st class in Black Desert. That's cool. And then let's see what's actually changing. So passive, there's a light and dark mode for Seraph, and I'm kind of hoping they're tweaking more on the dark side of everything. I think light is fine, but I think the dark skills need a little bit more work. But let's see what's happening. Passive effect, increase Black Spirit Rage recovery. That's good. So my first impressions of Seraph is you're using main hand weapon abilities to get to 100 BSR, Z buff, and then go into light mode, and then you're doing big damage for about like 10-15 seconds or so. After that, the BSR actually regens pretty quickly, so to the point where once you're out of that, you're already at like 70-ish%. And so, yeah, most of the time it's like basically being in Awakening, but the fact that they're increasing Black Spirit Rage recovery is always nice, and I think that's good. BSR increase on Dark as well. That's good. You can now rotate towards the camera until the attack motion is complete. Shoulder strike, crush. Rotate towards the camera. Yeah, I guess that's good. It helps with flowing and, just high mobility when you're grinding, so I think that's always good. Quality of life is important. Activate to cross terrain, so mobility, always good. More movement. Distance has been modified. Okay. So no actual number changes. BSR and movement is always a good thing. I assume the actual damage numbers and quality of life will be improved further in every other week going forward. So let's see what else has changed. Why didn't they just I guess they're not skills particularly, but let's see. The Wings of Judgment costume remained while boarding a vehicle. Okay, haven't really noticed that one. PvP damage appreciation ratio, second hit was not displayed. That's kind of important, actually. Scattered violence did not include the description of the effect. The skill didn't tell you what it did. It just wasn't in the tooltip. That's kind of crazy. That seems pretty important. Not linked. Okay, so yeah, when you hit something with a comp, I think I noticed this one a little bit actually, but maybe not on the second one. But I did notice something funky when I was leveling it up on seasons per level. But I think it's fine. All right, so apparently that was the only class balance we got today, which, as expected, new class. Monster Zone. Let's see. World boss schedule is changing. They talked about that at the Calpheon Ball. And basically, you know how sometimes there's 3 bosses spawning at a time? I think they said they wanted to change it to 2, but at different times so people can actually do things. What they need to do right now is currently on the NA servers, most of the bosses don't even die. They just get despawned because no one's doing it. So the best way to improve that would be more loot and, better loot. So I think that's what they're doing. Let's see what they're actually changing. Contributors, this means top damage. Nothing is really changing there. It's always been that formula of people who do the most damage get the better rewards. Let's see. So what kind of things are we getting? Okay, so let's talk about this. If I was at Pearl Abyss, what would I change? Just literally remove all of these. Well, actually, Blackstones are fine. Hunter Seals are fine. Remove these bars and just increase the number to like 2 at minimum. Between 2 to 3, I guarantee you people would just remove all these and then just say 2 to 3. So that's like at least 200 mil a world boss plus the other bonuses. Remove the 30 stack and just say 40 to 50 and at 1 to 2. That's how I'd fix that one. Caprastone bundle, all of these, all these are fine. Morning Light Lender Seal, that's new. I don't know what it does, but maybe they'll tell us. But yeah, that's how I would change it if I was at Pearl Abyss. Just remove half of these garbage things, increase the higher tier rewards by a little bit, and then that would be slightly better. And then, yeah, for people who don't do as much damage, you still get rewards. Okay, that's cool. So, the loot for the 4 world bosses has been adjusted and increased by 75%. That's good. Don't they already have like a marker, like just a fat icon that tells you where the bosses are? But I guess that's okay. That's different. Anyway, moving on. Life skills. Life skills has definitely needed an improvement over the past years. It feels like they just kind of forgot it existed, but let's see what's happening. Contribution point byproduct balance. One of the primary ways to earn contribution points is exchanging life skill byproducts, and doing it from cooking has been particularly advantageous compared to other life skills. Yeah, that's because you can mass process cooking, add mass alchemy, and then occasionally get some from processing. I guarantee you that would fix the problem. Okay, so the chances of crafting for alchemy has been tripled. Or you could just add mass alchemy, kind of like cooking. That would also fix the problem. Gardening, just multiply that number of how many you get. Remember that event for farming that we had where it was like, 5 times the rewards or something every time, and you got like 6 moles, like every other one? Yeah, just make that permanent, and I guarantee that fixes the problem. Hunting has been adjusted. That's good. Gathering has been tripled. That's actually good. Most people turn the fairy breath into sharps, though. So I guess that's what I do anyway. And then everything else. Most of the time for fishing, I turn these into silver keys because when you gather, you could turn them into the gold keys and then use them for the sharps and everything. So, yeah, I mean, these are good changes, but people aren't using like the fairy breath and bottles for the contribution XP, particularly because this is actually a lot of silver if you turn them into sharps when you gather. And then silver, everyone who gathers needs gold keys. A new breed of a wild horse. Oh boy. One of the most exciting parts of training is the moment of anticipation when you check a wild tamed horse and hoping you found a rare gem. The only exciting part of training is when I catch a tier 8 and it's, like already level 10 plus. That's the most exciting part. Everything else, I do not feel any joy. So anyway, new breeds of horses coming out. At this point, you might as well just remove tier 6s. Honestly, like just tier 7 and 8 is probably good enough, realistically. It's almost 2026. You're coming out with Voltarian horses and giving people tier 10s for free. At this point, like we should just have tier 7, tier 8 for all that stuff. Increase the Imperial delivery price and sale. That's good. And then more tier 8s, double rate. Overall, I think that's good. I feel like they missed the mark a little bit on terms of what they think is fun for people who are training, but overall it's a good change. Snowflower Field, you know, the snowboarding event that we did last year? That's coming back, but is this going to be permanent or an event? I thought it was fun the first few times. I didn't really care to do it ever again, though. Like, after the event ended, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But, I mean, interesting choice of what they're going to do for life skills going forward. Solaire Hall of Fame, for all of you Arena of Solaire players. 10% breath XP for 10 hours. Oh, wait, this is the thing where everyone can get the buff in Battle Arena. It's kind of irrelevant, not gonna lie. Like, breath XP. Like, what in the world? Okay. Request and knowledge. More story integrations. Cool. Ability to obtain the knowledge from Ataraxian boss loots. Oh, okay. NPCs and new furniture after acquiring knowledge. Nice. War of the Roses. I think this is such a good idea, but they literally have it like at the worst times on a Sunday. Like, why don't you just put it Fridays or Friday evening or something, or maybe have it twice a week, and then that would fix the problem. You know, I don't know. This is one of those things that just, it happens once every like other week, and then it's kind of like at a weird time on a Sunday evening. All right, so they're basically in the Calpheon Ball. If you haven't seen it, they talked about the map, and then they're removing the entire top part of that map because no one did it. So it's basically like red versus blue, and then they want people to fight in the center essentially, and then win. Rewards are improving. The important thing that people really care about is the silver and the lightning traces. So these are pretty important, actually. Medals of honor, and like everything is pretty decent here, but most people just want the lightning traces for the Voltarian horse. And then more loot. Cool. All right, so bug fixes and changes. It's always important to read these simply because you remember that time when they announced it in the changes part where they were going to allow you to turn horse gear into cronstones, and basically the people who got rich are the people who read this. This is why we read it every week. So, issue where the snowboard's direction was awkward. Well, good thing that's fixed before it released on the live servers. Okay. Is there anything actually important that we already have in the game that might be a problem? Nope. Everything is currently, on the global lab being tested, but nothing from live servers particularly annoying. So, yeah, anyway, that's it. Today's patch notes were, I wouldn't say the best, but not the worst either. I mean, it's just another week. So, with that said, hopefully you guys are all enjoying the new Seraph class, and if you want to watch my playthrough, I have 2 videos, one with the basic combo rotation, and another with just my seasonal playthrough. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. Bunch of quality of life stuff for both PvE and PvPers. I think that's fine. That's about it. So this is a small week, and yeah, that's about it. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We got some big announcements coming up next week and some big stuff for the channel on Black Desert stuff. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Peace.